Hey viewers, welcome to another, video of the Casual Pro Gamer. Today we're doing a game analysis of BigFatJiji playing Vladimir. This is part 1 of a series. I currently have 9 games of pros playing Vladimir. And we're going to analyze their gameplay, see what they do well, what they don't, or what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And yeah, this is still way before the latest patch. As you can see, it's kind of around where we got all the strange healing pots and such. Anyway, we're starting off with boots and health potions here, and not waiting around for the third health potion, so he only takes 2. Or yeah, that's 2, I think. And he's up against Morgana here. Morgana, who's really strong early game. And still, he tries to push her out of the lane by using the Q on her, as well as on the minions. The attack damage of Vladimir is not very high, and he is trying to just farm wherever he can. So whenever he can do it, he's using the Q on Morgana, but if he knows he cannot really go in and use the normal attack, then he uses the Q. But yeah, every time it is available and he's not using it to last hit, he's damaging Morgana. And as you can see, it's pretty effective, because Morgana really has lost quite a bit of health, and because of the boots and healing potions, he can heal up pretty well. No jungler coming in for now. He has a Mumu jungle, which is not very strong. Not sure. I'm pretty sure this is the new jungle, but I'm not actually sure because I don't know when it was introduced. And as I said, this is kind of an older game. Most of these games are older games. There are only 2 new games. So I'm not sure what the timing on the jungler, on the gank is here, if a gank comes in. But that's really not what this is about. It's not about whether he wins or loses. It's about how he plays. And you can see him staying between the 2 rows of minions on the enemy side, so not behind his minions. And he's only going behind his minions when the enemy minions are almost dead, and he is allowing Morgana to get most of the minions, but he is trying to get her out of the range. So most of the time not actually succeeding, because Morgana is very, very good at getting the last hits with her Tormented Soil. But early on, Tormented Soil alone is not enough to get the minions. So by harassing her while she is trying to get the last hits, he is doing a pretty good job of keeping her health low and denying some gold to her. As you can see, he's still trying to stay between the 2 waves of minions, using his E whenever it is appropriate. I'm not sure when it is appropriate, but it seems that when a lot of minions are low, then that is the time he at least uses it. But sometimes also when they're all full health, just to help him push the lane, because Morgana is going to push the lane back quite a bit. And we will see in later episodes of the Vladimirs that people have a lot of trouble with the early waves. So we see a lot of times that the Vladimir has to let the early waves push into the tower, and we see a flash from Morgana there. Wasn't in real trouble because, well, Vladimir didn't have his ultimate yet, but she was scared enough to actually use her flash and her black shield. Black shield not a big deal, flash is a big deal. But as you might have noticed, even though he has pool, I don't know exactly when he took it. I'll look at that later when I go over the skills. So at the moment the positioning is just between the 2 minion lines, and trying to damage Morgana as much as possible and preventing her from getting last hits. But yeah, he hasn't used the pool at all yet, even though he's had it probably since level 2 or 3. I would say level 2 is normally the pool, but we'll see. So, and going back when he has about 1500 gold, which means that he can get the Hextech Revolver, some wards, and some healing potions. And combined with the boots, this is the basic build on Vladimir. Vladimir really, can be built in a lot of ways, but the general build is you go Hextech Revolver, that's it, and you go boots. So Vladimir can be built, I guess, AP and HP, but the AP gives so much more of an advantage than the HP that you should always go AP. There's really no good reason not to go it, because the AP items provide you with so many better options than the HP items, because you don't need a whole lot of armor or magic resist, which is generally what is in HP items. We see him pushing the lane here because Morgana is no longer here. Morgana has to go back to shop, and he's taking advantage of that by pushing all of the minions in her turret, hopefully preventing her from getting this experience, or at least this gold. Because, well, if she's so good at farming, especially the back part of the minions, then she's in bottom lane, so that's why he's pushing this turret. But it really doesn't matter where she went. The idea is that if she's not there, he's pushing the lane, and he's really aggressive. He knows he cannot get ganked very easily because he has a ward out. He's staying on the top part of the lane, well, not anymore now, but when he's in the lane, and getting an ultimate off there, but really not doing any damage on top of that. So that was kind of a wasted ultimate. Also because of the snare, obviously. But he could have dodged the snare with the pool if he really wanted to. The sanguin pool is really your only escape. At this moment, by the way, we do see the flash and ignite as summoner spells. We'll see that most of the times, although we also see Vlads with ghost and flash, ghost and ignite, ghost and exhaust even. So the range are ghost and heal. The range on skills that are useful on Vladimir is really, you can use virtually any one of them, except for the obvious ones. So there's no real need to take anything because you have a built-in escape. And without the built-in escape, that would be different, obviously. But doing a good job of dodging here. But as you can see, Morgana almost had all the minions killed before Vladimir did anything, because she can just harass and get the damage done at the same moment. So Amumu unfortunately dying here, and Vladimir also in some trouble. But immediately going back to lane, he knows that even if he's low, as long as he has some health potions left, and he can use his Q to get last hits, then all is alright. So generally we see the Q farmed up first. Unfortunately I cannot check that on this one. But normally we see the Q farmed up first, the E farmed up second, or leveled up, sorry. The E leveled up second, and the pool is really the last one to be leveled up. Obviously you want your ultimate whenever it is available. And using the ultimate once again to just scare off the Morgana. Not really using it to deal extra damage, because that's really not what this one was about. It is generally just to, especially early game, it is just to keep her out of his way while he is farming, because she can farm and harass at the same time, and yeah, that is just hard to deal with, obviously. So checking out the side lanes, probably for boots level 2. Oh, yo, no. The Will of the Ancients is a lot more important to get. Oh, going for cooldown boots here. Cooldown boots are really good on Vladimir. They're not as good as the sorcerer's shoes, but they do allow you to stay alive longer. So against some enemy champions, you want to get the cooldown instead of the sorcerer's shoes, because if you get damaged a lot, and against Morgana you do get damaged a lot, then what you want, oh, that's so fail. The shield on Rumble. Yeah, wow. Anyway, yeah, this is what Morgana does a lot of the time, kind of pretending to go back, and then when someone comes in, they snare them, because people are going to be unaware that she will snare at that point. The pull finally going off for the first time, because he wanted to be close to Morgana without getting stunned. And he did get one kill on the Morgana only. And yeah, that wasn't really well played. But yeah, the problem he had there, as we go back, because this is a video. So Mumu was doing the... Yeah, let's go back a little bit further. Mumu here, as you can see, is going to the enemy raids. And, well, first of all, he is now at Morgana. That's fine. He was coming in to gank, but Morgana, yeah, really too strong for him. Amumu is going in for the raids, so all he can do is follow, because Amumu would already be dead otherwise, because Gangplank was also here. I don't know where he is now, but he's probably in this region where we cannot see him. But he was there. Yeah, he's over here. And all he can do is just use his E and his Q to get as much damage done as possible. Here he uses his pull to avoid the stun. He still gets stunned, by the way. So that's kind of surprising. I didn't know that it would actually work. He still has his flash up. So he is probably able to kill this dude. But then what happens is Rumble comes in. And there you go. Here you see that Rumble is coming in. He can probably still kill this guy. So he is... Yeah, he should have probably gone for that. Well, the Gangplank flashed over the wall immediately. Well, at the same moment that he flashed. And obviously the better way to do this would be to just walk a little bit to this side, flash over, and then escape. But he failed his flash, and yeah, you saw what happened. So he gets killed. Anyway, we're going forward a little bit. And there we are. He bought an extra amplifying tome, which is normally going to be Rylai's Crystal Scepter as a second item. It gives you a lot of HP, and the HP will translate into AP with the innate ability. Also, the slow that you get from it helps you get kills, so it is kind of useful. So healing up with the Q and using the E to farm the rest. Rumble dodging everything, and is eventually going to be picked up by, yeah, by one of them. That didn't really matter who got it. He because he farmed up his whole wave and his mid lane opponent wasn't there, he decided to go help out some other lane. And that is of course good. It is good that if you have nothing to do, you go do something else, which can be killing the raids. It can be as easy as that, because it gives you like 100 extra gold. And if you keep doing that all game, that is going to result in a lot of gold, so no shield on Morgana there. But yeah, not going into to kill the turret, because he knows that's going to take forever. He's going to help out with the dragon here. So doing the little bit of damage on Morgana really didn't do a whole lot. But it does, yeah, give her the idea that he's going to, he is interested in damaging her, and it keeps her back a little bit more. So although Vladimir has a lot of, well, a lot of health regen, he is still not unkillable, as you may have noticed. He is kind of harass proof, so you cannot harass him, but he has some trouble getting rid of or staying alive in situations where people just nuke him down. And that's why he has his pool. So you should use the sanguin pool to prevent people from nuking you down. Otherwise, you shouldn't use it, because if you use it and then it's on cooldown when someone comes in and nukes you down or stuns you, which is the same. Because if people stun you, then it doesn't matter that they cannot really insta damage you. Yeah, they have all the time in the world then to do that, because with multiple stuns, especially with Morgana, who has a snare into a stun sometimes, if she gets lucky. Yeah, you should really watch out for those, and that's why he uses his pool here to escape. And yeah, he is going for a little bit of damage on the turret, but really shouldn't stay in here. Taking down the turret would take forever, and Morgana can just farm up if the turret goes down, so she gets even more room to farm. Because now she has to farm against the tower, which at least takes some minions away. And using the E and the Q now to do the damage on the minions, instantly taking out the whole minion wave, and then going on to try to harass the Morgana. But yeah, harassing Morgana not really effective, because she has spell vamp built in. She also it has the black shield, and therefore he just goes into the jungle to check out whether something is there to be taken. So the cannon minion, a little trickier to get, but with the Q you normally should be able to last hit it. And yeah, he's really just by being aggressive in the early game, preventing that he loses minions to the turret. He hasn't had a lot of trouble hitting against the turret, because the wave just hasn't come that far. So using the ultimate here, trying to do the damage, but not actually managing to do enough damage, and is getting killed. So I think by now the laning phase is kind of over. He is level 13, I would say. Yeah, 13. And yeah, he has his boots. He has the come on. Will of the Ancients, and he has some extra crap. He's now going for Zonia's Hourglass, or probably Rabadon's that cap. But yeah, he's going to buy the needlessly large rod, and from here on out I don't really care anymore. By this time you have so much AP that you can take out the whole minion wave, you can team fight, you can do anything. That's not what this is about. This is about the early game. So for now we're going to speed through the game at, I think, times 4 speed is the maximum on this one. No, times 8. No, that doesn't work. Times 4 is the maximum that I can do. And the sheep is going crazy here. Oh yeah, it doesn't really work. So times 3 then. We're going to watch the skills, how he levels them up. Well, specifically when he takes his pool. So he doesn't take pool at level 2. He takes pool probably then at level 4, because the Q is generally seen as the most important one. So yeah, not at level 3. And yeah, the lagging is not due to me, it's due to the fact that this video player really isn't made to go faster than that. There he goes. He is now level 4 and he just took pool. So his Q really has preference over everything else. His E was level 2, and then because Q is preference over everything else, level 3 is Q again, and then level 4 is pool. For the rest, yeah, we see level 5, 7 and 9 are Q again. Then 6 is obviously his ultimate, and 8 is going to be E. Then 9, 10 9, 10 are going to be E, 11 is going to be ultimate, 12 is going to be the last one in E, and then the rest goes into pool. Yeah, there's really nothing else to say here. We saw the positioning, so most of the game he's positioned in between his minions, or no, between the melee and the ranged minions on the enemy team. He backs out whenever the minions get, well, there aren't a lot of minions left, because then he knows that he can farm with Q. And because it's Morgana, it's really hard to prevent her from farming. Don't know how he did in the end. So I don't know if there's any scorecard coming up. No. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. That was the 12-12, so that was after this team fight, I think. Yeah, there we go. So he is at 157 and Morgana is at 143. So he did prevent some farming, but not a whole lot, because it is just really, really hard to do that against Morgana. And yeah, you should always try, of course, but it doesn't always work. So as I said, this was the first one. I'm not going to draw any conclusions yet. We're just going on to the next one. So the next one will be someone else, because I only have one BigFatJiji game, and we will see how they handle it. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. GG.